I don't think our moderator's here. How many people are on the stage on the, I can't, let me look around.
I'm here. Pierre Nadeau's here.
I'm on stage. Mike
Cool.
Rolowitz.
I don't recall who's moderating, but I can start it. And if people can get in, that's awesome. So do you guys want to just take a moment to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so I think I'm moderating, Lindsay. So I think that's you that was just talking, right? So we're just waiting maybe on Jenna.
No, I'm here. We're all here, I
Jenna
think.
too.
I don't know
Okay.
what the issue is.
Well, cool. Yeah.
Do one of you want to just kick it off and introduce yourself? Let everybody know who you are, what market you serve.
Mike is the...
Yeah, so I will start because I realize I'm the newbie in the group here. So again, I think you guys in the audience are in for a treat. We've got on stage today over 50 years in real estate, $461 million in production last year, 935 transactions among this whole group. So my name is Mike Rolowitz. I'm with the 904 Home Guide team in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, which is kind of Northeast Florida. Been in real estate only 3 years. I sold a company I owned back in 2018. To get into real estate, started with a Berkshire Hathaway affiliate and made the move to EXP June of 2020, right in the middle of a pandemic. And my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. Have a small team, 3 agents, an operations director. Our team last year, just over 33 million in production, 53 transactions. And our service area is kind of all of Northeast Florida. So Jacksonville, the Jacksonville beaches, Ponte Vedra Beach, St. Johns County, Nocatee are kind of my areas. So how about we go to Lindsay next, and you can kind of walk us through your kind of journey in real estate and your numbers. Still here, Lindsay?
I'm back
All
now.
right. What's that?
I'm back now. I got kicked out.
Oh, perfect. All right. There you are, walking right past me. All right. So yeah, if you can just kind of share the information you share with me about the experience and what your team's doing, because you guys had an explosion last year.
Yeah, so my name's Lindsey Stevens. I'm a team leader of a team in upstate New York, about 90 miles north of New York City. I missed the intro, but we did about 90 million, just about 90 million in volume in 2021. We have a team of 18 agents, 5 admin staff, and we appreciated from 42 million in 2020 to 90 million in 2021. Our goal is 180 million in 2022.
Okay, so you're just like more than doubling every year. We're going to dive deeper into that for sure. We'll keep the ladies here. So Jenna, if you want to introduce yourself as well.
Sure. I'm Jenna Johannine. I've been in real estate for 9 years now, with EXP 3 years and ICON for all 3 of those years. Last year I did just over 14 million. It's just myself. I'm a single individual agent, and I do have a transaction coordinator, licensed in Wisconsin, but mostly work in the southeastern part of Wisconsin.
Okay, so help me. What are major cities, I guess, in southeastern Wisconsin?
Sure, like Milwaukee.
Heard of it?
2 hours north of Chicago. Yeah, Waukesha, mostly Milwaukee and Waukesha counties, and then there's about 5-6 counties that are kind of in the southeastern area: Ozaukee, Washington, Kenosha, Racine.
Awesome. Okay, so we've covered everyone in the United States. Now we're going to go to our friends to the north, and we'll start with Rahul, and I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah, that's correct, Mike. Thank you so much. This is my first time being here on the stage. I'm kind of nervous. But my name's Rahul Aurora. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I've been in business for about 6 years. and I joined EXP in June 2020. So roughly been a year and a half. Been loving it so far. This year, I did close to 25 million and about 35 transactions in total. I am a single agent. I do hire virtual help here and there to do some of my back-end stuff like SkySlope and my web forms. But in the entire essence, I work as a single agent. And I service my Toronto pocket and a greater Toronto area, which is roughly an hour and a half drive from Toronto either side.
All right, thanks. Quick follow-up. What's your inventory like in Canada now? Are you guys as starved as we are in the States?
Absolutely. The inventory is at all-time low, and it's been a tough conversion recently, but we are struggling through it as well.
Got it. Okay. And with no further ado, the $300 million man, Pierre, also from Canada. His team did over 300 million in production last year, 550 transactions. So let's kind of get the backstory, please.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for that. So we went from basically 12 agents on our team to we're about 36 agents now. So last year we started the year with maybe, I think we were around 18 to 19 agents, but because of us growing with the EXP model, we were able to grow our team dramatically. And of course, that came with a lot of sales. We partnered, so we don't really run a traditional team. It's more, I call it more of a partnership group, and that's allowed us to bring on some very good producers to partner with us, and we just work together as a team, and then we provide services for them. So I've been in the business 20 years in the Kingston, Ontario market, just down the street from Rahul. Yes, inventory is a huge issue right now.
Okay, it's interesting. I heard a quote recently where it's like everybody says it's a seller's market, and the contrarian view is, no, it's been a buyer's market for the last 2 years because anybody that bought made a ton of money. Sellers should have waited. It's kind of an interesting perspective on things. So, I think one of the lessons that all of us collectively learned in 2021 was really how to kind of navigate a low inventory environment, bidding wars, appraisal gaps, everything like that. So we'll kind of start back with Lindsey and go right back through. I'm just curious, as you reflect back on 2021, what are those lessons learned that you're either applying for the single agents in the group to kind of shift your business or, do things differently, or for our team model folks, training your team on, what are you taking away and implementing this year to serve at an even higher level? So take it away, Lindsey.
Yeah, so I focus heavily on trying to differentiate yourself. Obviously, I was a solo agent at one time. We all started, just trying to break our way into the industry. So my heart's always with the solo agent, independent agent, and the teams too. So it's just really in such a competitive market that's not only is the inventory super tight, the market itself in terms of real estate agents is saturated. So what are you doing as an agent to be different than the competition? So we're Veronica, I think, is in the audience, and she's one of my amazing coaches, and she is kind of cracking the hammer down on me and our team, just video. So we do a lot of content creation. We put ourselves out there on video as much as humanly possible, just so obviously our community knows who we are. We do a lot of giving back to our community also, and just constantly just try and be in front of the consumer so that when, the opportunity comes to whether you're buying or selling, you're the agent that comes to mind because the community knows who you are. You've put yourself out there. You've, identified yourself as the true professional in your marketplace, and you'll stand out. So that's what we're, kind of leaning on. And then, of course, understanding scripts, knowing what you're talking about, knowing how to write a bulletproof offer and really put your buyer in front of the competition that way also. But in terms of just getting your foot in the door and being an agent people trust and respect, I think you really got to continuously put yourself out there in front of the marketplace.
Love it. Yeah. So video first. I think any agent that's not leveraging that, you're not on the consideration set. You're just sliding down. And it's kind of shifted. The model that I'm pouring into my agents is less about that proof of success and more about proof of competence now in terms of storytelling, versus just sold, just listed, new record, to, hey, here's how we made this happen. Here's how, I've only had to write 2 offers. Somebody when everybody else is writing 8 to get one accepted. So I'm curious, Lindsey, on the video side, kind of what platforms are you leaning into? Are you boosting any of this content? Or are you just doing it organically? So if you can just expand a little on the video side, I'm curious on that.
Yeah, I mean, we love social media, right? So obviously, I think that's where the attention is. And I always say the most powerful marketing tool is in the palm of your hand. So you don't need a big production crew. You don't need lights. You don't need cameras. All you need is your iPhone or your Samsung, whatever it is, to shoot. And I think you're right. I think that just listed, just sold, look at me is kind of cliche. I think people want to see like the true, authentic you. Everybody is unique because there's only one of us, and people appreciate that. So I think they want to see the nitty gritty. They want to see the day in the life. They want to see the struggles. They want to see that you're a real human being. So yeah, we do a lot of Facebook, a lot of Instagram. Reels are an amazing way to have true organic reach. I think there's a lot of attention on short form video. So Instagram Reels, Facebook Stories, YouTube, we post across YouTube and LinkedIn also. So I think anywhere and everywhere you can be, you should be, and less about trying to make it a big production and more about just being you and documenting that.
Facts. Everybody write that down. The most powerful marketing tool is in the palm of your hand. That's a heck of a takeaway, and it's so true. It's so simple, but oftentimes we forget, because oftentimes that phone is also the biggest annoyance in our life, with text messages and everything else that comes along with it. But so your takeaway, it sounds like, is differentiating yourself through video, through staying in touch with people, staying top of mind. Somebody had a question here. Are you hiring any of that social media out, or is everybody on your team kind of doing it themselves, or do you have somebody that curates any of that content?
Yeah, our team is finally clicking. So everybody on the team is understanding how valuable it is. So they're all independently shooting their own content and putting it out there. And obviously we're resharing and reposting and repurposing. We have a VA actually that does a lot of our posting. So we'll post the content in a Slack channel. He will take it and post it across all platforms. He's unbelievable. Like, he's just an amazing employee. We're lucky to have him. We do have an internal videographer and photographer also, but I find that most of the content that gets the real reach is just the content that you're taking on the go or on a live on Facebook or something, that sort of content I think reaches more people than the production content, in my personal opinion.
Yep, very true. Okay, so Jenna, kind of same question. As you looked back on your, you had a 32% increase to your 14 million in production in 2021. So first, I guess, kind of what's that production goal look like for you for 2022? And what are those lessons you learned in 2021 that you're pulling into this year?
Sure. So I have a little bit different goals than a lot of people where I don't necessarily try to kill myself in real estate. I have bigger goals of how many countries I'm going to travel to in a year and how I'm going to make that work-life balance doable. So with that 32% was average sale price. A lot of my clients now are upsizing, so that pretty much means they're going to be spending more money, right? So average sale price is just kind of going up naturally, which is great. Just keeping the processes and consistency with staying top of mind. I think somebody already said that too. That's my biggest thing. I've definitely stepped up social media in that. It's a great tool, Facebook, Instagram mostly, and just really connecting with my clients. As soon as we become clients or accept an offer or closing, I'll become friends with them on social media. So then we're interacting on different media sources, right? Just not looking at houses, but now I can see, if they had a baby, if they got married, if they went on a trip, and commenting on that. So special occasions, sending out a card, that kind of thing. So just staying top of mind and just being authentic in those connections and those relationships.
Great. So as a lot of your business, you mentioned, people are buying up. You've been in real estate 9 years. So is a lot of your business kind of repeat and referral? And then I want to know where you're traveling to next.
So I just got back from Panama, the country. That was 2 weeks ago. I'm headed to Belize in April, and then Amsterdam and Croatia in June.
Okay. And then, so is most of the business kind of repeat and referral? Are you doing any, paid online lead generation or anything else, or is it more kind of organic?
Yeah, so when I first started, it was definitely Google Ad, Realtor, Zillow. It still is to a degree, but mostly past clients referrals now, so for sure.
Okay, and then just one last question. I don't know. I love getting into the data. So your transactions last year, buy, sell side, about even, or more buyer heavy, seller heavy?
Last year was about even. That was the first year that I actually had probably more even. In the years past was definitely buyer heavy. So thankfully in this market to have that many sellers is fantastic.
No doubt, because when they were buyers 9 or 5 years ago, guess what? They're sellers now. And
correct. Yeah. Stay connected for sure.
Yeah, and stays connected, gets that business, because I think we've all been in this long enough. There's no bigger gut punch than seeing one of your friends or past clients go list with another agent, and you know exactly why they did it, because you were not top of mind. So kudos to you on that. All right. So, Rahul, let's kind of dig into, lessons learned from last year that you're applying and, kind of pillars in your business as well.
Yeah, for sure. My 99.9% business is referrals. So it's new referring clients or repeat clients. That's what I focus on more. Since last year, I've started to work a bit more on client care, getting more in touch with clients. Usually I do client events because of COVID and pandemic. I haven't been able to do that since 2020, but that was a big thing in my sphere. And I do 2 video CMAs a year. Those are not too long, but I would say roughly about a minute or minute and a half. I do that for my entire database. I use a service called Loom online. I just record myself on a small screen and give them comparables for their pocket. So I try to do that twice a year. I have to do one in February, and the next one I would do is right before the holidays to prep people up to sell probably in a better market. Then I do holiday gift baskets for all my clients. That usually happens anywhere between October to December. I do closing gift baskets for my buyers and sellers. And even for tenants, I've noticed with my lease clients, I tend to get more conversion rate to buyers with my lease clients. I do birthdays, anniversaries, note cards. If anybody sends me a referral, I do send them a note card. I don't do anything monetary in terms of people giving me referrals, but I take care of them during my client events, give them an extra. So that's been my business model for the past 2.5 years. I'm just trying to improve more on it as time goes by.
Okay, those are great pillars. So question on these video CMAs, because that's something we're trying to implement a little bit more. So it sounds like it's kind of a back of the napkin CMA, not a total deep dive. And you said for your entire database. So I'm curious, is that database, past clients that have bought or sold with you, or are these just people you know from your days before real estate, or, neighbors and people you've met just through social connections? I'm curious who all is getting that CMA, and a little bit, if you could tell the folks kind of what all is in there.
Yeah, for sure. When I say database, I basically meant for my past clients and the clients I'm working with currently. So that's rough. Last year, I did roughly about 85 videos for them. This year, I'm looking at about 125 at the moment. But it's not a deep dive CMA. It's very short. I say like 2 or 3 properties in their pockets in the past 2 to 3 months, and just give them a general idea. And I do drop a line saying, if you want to know more, they can reach out to me directly. And callback rate is roughly about 30% of people asking for a detailed CMA, and then I visit them and hand them over their CMAs. But it's a pretty quick video. I don't share a lot of info on these CMAs, but just to touch base.
Okay, so there's no attachment, right? You're not giving them the data that they would really need. You're just giving them a high level and saying, hey, call me, right? Is that kind of the approach to it? Is not give them everything, force them to kind of reach back out and set an appointment with you?
Exactly, that's correct. I do give them some data, but it's in the video format. They can see the sales. If they request, I do send them a PDF right away. But on the video itself, it's very short and concise.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So, Pierre, some folks had questions, and as you were talking, I kind of had the same question. So we want to certainly understand what you took away from a year of huge growth, doubling your agent count. So lessons you learned, growing pains from that, but also some folks had questions, and I kind of do the same, this kind of, partnership model versus a team split model. So if you can kind of unpack different splits, the structure, kind of what support is given to those partnership agents versus, full-on team agents. So basically answer all 18 of my questions if you could.
Okay. So the first thing I want to address is the what did we do to get to where we're at today and why we grew so much. And our biggest thing is we've grown for one reason and one reason only, and it's because of the coaching that we've gotten from EXP. And I've had a coach forever. And when I joined EXP, I saw that the coaching level was so much higher. I dropped my coach, and I basically just started working with the people, within our upline to help us grow. So we went from doing, 300 transactions to, over 500 transactions. But the biggest part of all that is that our profit margins quadrupled, which is all I really care about. Is I don't care about how many transactions I'm doing. I'm caring about what's left in my pocket at the end of the day. And when you talk about coaching, and I have agents that call me and say, "Oh, the market's slow," and one of the questions I ask them is, "Okay, how many classes have you gone to in the last 30 days?" All right. I don't know if you guys are looking at the chat, but Veronica's in the room. Okay, she's here listening because she's learning all the time. This is one of the most powerful women in real estate, and she's sitting in the audience. Why is she here? Right. So you guys have that opportunity of being around people that are doing big things. And I remember when I first saw Veronica speak at a mastermind, I was like, oh my God, like I'm just a little guy in this room. I can't even speak. I can't even put my hand up. I was embarrassed, right, to listen to these powerhouse agents. So I think that was our biggest reason for growth. And this year, our focus is to make sure that all our agents are, tying into all this training and coaching that's available, because there's no reason for you to not grow. Okay. I've been in the business 20 years and I'm still growing, but it's because I got around all these powerful, agents that were willing to give back. Okay, so that was our biggest takeaway, and we just kept growing and growing, and it was the model that helped us grow. It wasn't anything I was doing. It was just because we had a better model than when I had an independent brokerage, right? As far as the question that goes about the team and the how we run our team, I guess I just didn't want to be involved in a babysitting thing where I was trying to hold people accountable every day and everything. So the way we run our model is basically we provide our agents with all these services that we do all their, like we do a lot of their admin work, we do their videos, we do their, social media posts, all their, basically anything that, a realtor doesn't want to handle, we handle it for them and we charge them, for that. We have different splits depending on where they're at. And this is what, one of the issues that I used to have when I had a regular team was that, everybody's on a 50-50 split and, you get them to the point where they're making 150,000 a year. And then they go, okay, thank you very much for all the coaching. I'm out of here. And they would go somewhere else. So that just got, I was constantly replacing my top agents, right? Now we take less off the top, but we do way more volume and people are happy and they're not leaving. And so it's just way more sustainable as well that way. So we do provide a lot of services for them. And some use a lot of the services, some just use, a percentage of them. But the thing is, the ones that do use it, they're growing the most right now. And we've been very fortunate. We've got some great people, really good people.
Yeah. Funny how that works, that the ones that pour into the training and education are producing at a higher level, right? Those are the ones, obviously, that have a bent towards implementation, too. This getting away from this knowledge is power view to, knowledge applied as power. One of the questions someone had was, how do you kind of find those coaches or mentors in your upline? So I can just speak from my experience, and I know I've seen Lindsey on our Monday mastermind call. I would really lean into your sponsor and say, hey, is there some mastermind? Is there some group? Because I can tell you that time, and Lindsey, I'll ask you after, that Monday at 1:00 is sacred on my calendar because it's actionable, it's all tactical, it's 100% focused on growing our businesses, production. It's not about rev share and agent attraction. It's solely focused on kind of building our businesses. So, just real quick, I guess we'll go back through, we'll start with Lindsey. Kind of how have you leaned into the spirit of collaboration within EXP, and are there, mastermind groups that you attend?
Yeah, so the whole reason we were independent, we moved over in November of 2020, and I was like thirsty for bigger and mostly just being around bigger thinkers. So the model was great and, everything it offered was great. But for me, it was access to the people and, the proximity to people that could truly help me grow and our team grow and us scale. So I leaned super heavily into my upline. I made sure they all knew who I was. I stalked them until they called me back or got time on Zoom with me. And then beyond that, just really reached out to people within the organization. Yes, the Monday mastermind, no matter where I am, I'll be there at 1:00. I love it. It's just a non-negotiable on my calendar also. And within our group too, there's so much coaching opportunity. And if you don't have a great upline, or I don't know what people's situations are in the room, but the university within EXP and the hours of training that provides also is invaluable. So I think real estate is one of those industries, the more you pour into it, the more you get out of it. And there's just no shortage of learning and growing within the network of agents that are in this room, on this panel, in your upline, in the trainings that are in the world, all of it. It's so robust. So I really think that's the main reason that we've scaled and will continue to scale is just by leaning on the people that will give. That's just kind of what it's all about.
Yep. Well said. And the spirit of giving, it's funny when people would ask me when I left my last brokerage, at first, the reason I gave was I'm looking to build a team the model at this franchise with, there's no cap, the splits are not great for me or an agent, franchise fee, like that was the initial reason. Now I tell people, looking back almost 2 years, is what Lindsey just mentioned. It's that proximity and being in room with bigger thinkers. So at my past brokerage, the Berkshire affiliate we had here, and again, no offense to them, lovely people. They did a great job kind of launching my career. Their top producer for the entire company, hundreds of agents across our city, was $51 million. I'm looking at this roster of people that I'm sharing the stage with right now. And like, I didn't have the mentors, I didn't have people I could model to kind of jumpstart my business. So I owned a staffing company for 23 years, sold that to get into this, and knew I need to be the dumbest in the room. And guys, for proving that today, I love being that person that's always looking to others. And the fact that so many people are willing to give within my upline, anywhere along EXP, whether it's jumping into a training, if I pick something off of one of the trainings, like Lindsey, I'm going to find that person via social, EXP, to say, hey, can I get 15 more minutes? I would love to expand upon something. So, Jenna, how have you kind of leaned into mentorship, coaching, or, mastermind opportunities to help you grow and kind of grow a great business that supports a pretty awesome lifestyle for you?
Yeah, so the sponsor that I chose, I intentionally didn't pick someone local. For me, it was, what are other people doing in other markets that, Wisconsin, we're a little behind on our MLS and things that we do here. So, what are people in California or New York or, some of these bigger cities, what are they doing? Because that's where we're going to be in 5 years. So my intention of finding a sponsor outside of being local was very important to me. I lean into the mastermind that we have on Mondays at 12 o'clock Central. It's invaluable information, like you guys have already said. With EXP and the amount of training that's available is, it's so crazy when you look at the schedule. Super overwhelming to be new. But if you want to learn how to farm, if you want to be, go up your FISBO, if you want to learn how to do ads or social media, or how can I be better for past clients, like, it's right there at your fingertips. And then I love that about EXP, and it's obviously being global, you can do it from the comfort of your sweats. Like, I don't have to go into an office and sit there, I can plug in at any time, which is phenomenal.
Amen. So are you wearing sweats right now?
No, I'm not. I have a listing appointment right after, so I actually had to get ready today.
Cool, good job. And that probably just got really weird, so my apologies. I'll probably never be able to moderate again. All right, Rahul, kind of same question. You're looking at my little cheat sheet here. So you're, 6 years in real estate, 2 with EXP, kind of what did the training look like where you came from, and what are you doing now to keep, kind of growing your business?
That's a great question. With training aspect, I've been coaching with Buffini Group for about 2.5 years. This is actually my 3rd year with them. And that has helped me immensely with my mindset and my business model. I do a lot of training on the EXP world as well. I like to watch others who are successful in business to see what they're doing and try to implement those things as well. The video CMA idea I actually took at one of the lessons in the EXP world, and it was last year, and since then I've been implementing it in my business too. But Buffini has been a major growth factor in my business. They've set my mindset proper. They've given me business modules to work on. And that's the reason my entire work has been by referral for the past 2 years.
Awesome. So anybody reach out to Rahul, because he's got a different view than some of us that, may coach with other coaching programs, and obviously different upline. So, Pierre, you were the one that kind of brought this up of, leaning into your upline. So I guess first, kind of who are some of those people within EXP that have kind of help you build out this very unique and I think highly effective kind of hybrid model. Because when you talked about, you get agents on your team and they get to a certain point and they think, that level of support, splits don't kind of jive with that. It sounds like you've been able to retain some of those folks. So who's been able to kind of help you along the way to get to where you are now within your upline or the 73,000 plus EXP agents as a whole?
Well, I am very fortunate to have Jay Kinder, Al Stasek, and John Kitchens. They have been probably the most instrumental people that have helped me grow. My sponsor, Andre LaFontaine, as well, is huge on building systems and everything else. So we talk at least once a week, Andre and I, and we're always kind of masterminding, trying to figure out how to be better and how can we make things better for our agents. But some of those guys have created some great mastermind groups, and that's where I first met Veronica and got to see her speak. And so some of those rooms are pretty amazing. So those, very fortunate to have those. They were instrumental in bringing us over as well. I really connected with Al Stasek and Jay Kinder. Somebody asked a question of, who do we use as coaches? I use everybody. I listen to everyone I possibly can. Every day when I go to the gym, I'm not listening to music. I'm listening to a podcast that somebody has put on. I'm listening to, anything that's been put into our group as far as a video or anything at all that's training related. Coach Burt right now is working with our organization, and he's great. If you want to look him up on YouTube, he's really, really good as well. So I'm constantly listening to everything. And if I'm not doing that, I'm listening to some kind of, positive book on Audible, while I'm doing something else or driving around or whatever. But, so there's, every coach has a different way of doing things. Like Buffini has, a certain thing that he likes. I was with Craig Proctor for many, many years. And then, I just love coaching. My first 5 years in the business, I didn't have a coach. And I'll tell you, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and wasted money because I wasn't, I thought I knew what I was doing, but I really didn't. And then when I hired a coach, then my business went through the roof. And then I had a coach that I was paying, $30,000 a year for before I got into EXP. And then I decided to get rid of that. And my business went through the roof again because of the collaboration that is available within our organization. So hopefully that answers the question.
It's a great point on coaching. So I actually got into coaching within Tom Ferry before I even had my license, because I knew there was so much I did not know. And, I think it was some of the rocket fuel to kind of get me ramped up in production so quickly to not make those mistakes. And I still coach within the Ferry organization, and I lean into that. But if that's something that folks in the room can't afford, there are mentors. There are people that can give you incredible guidance for free. It just becomes your responsibility at that point to implement, and to act and execute on what you're given. Because as Pierre's talking, I'm like, God, I don't know how he's able to implement all this. Podcasts at the gym and audiobooks and videos. So real quick, Pierre, before I go to the last round of questions, how do you filter through all the great content that's out there and say, hey, these are the things that aren't shiny pennies. These are the things I know I need to execute on?
Well, you don't really know until you listen to them. But this is the thing. I mean, every time I listen to something, I'm open-minded, and I'm just a sponge, just, wanting to learn more. Like, one of the things that Coach Burt always says is, he believes that no matter how good you are, you can always be better. And the thing about EXP that drove me was, I was comfortable before I started this, but I knew I wanted to be better. I knew I wasn't done. Right. And, now we're at a point where we're shifting our business as well and trying to do more of the agent attraction side of things. And, we're getting close to 400 agents on that. So I've had to learn how to shift that. Right. So John Kitchens helped me, with that shift. I'm like, okay, what does that look like? I'm doing over 100 deals a year myself prior to this, how do I get out of that and just do, the agent attraction side of things? And now I can say I'm pretty fortunate that, out of all those deals we did last year, I only did about 13 of those. And that was a nice thing. Now I get to coach and help the agents grow and do other things. And now, I'm very lucky that I'm working in Arizona for the winter, doing coaching and doing, helping agents grow, and then also building our rev share group and trying to focus on that as well, because that's growing like crazy now too, which is a lot of fun.
Nice. All right. Arizona is probably a little bit more. I got to think it's better than Ontario in the winter. That out.
You know what? It's way better. we were supposed to do this 3 years ago, and then COVID hit, and we weren't able to enjoy it. But I'll tell you, it's pretty amazing because I get to be really, really focused. I have no distractions, and the goals are very, very clear, and my days are planned out, and I'm busy, right? Like it's great. But the whole agent attraction side of things is a whole new challenge as well. And it's phenomenal.
Awesome. Right on. Okay. So it looks like we've got about 15 minutes, so we'll kind of speed round through here. I think in order to grow, I look at us not as agents, we're all business owners, and I think that's a shift when people come to EXP. If they get around the right people, they get that mindset shift immediately, that you're a business owner. Whether you're a solo agent, team lead, mega team, like Pierre's running. So with that, and it looks like, I know, Rahul, you mentioned, I think, a VA. Jenna, you've got transaction coordinator. So I just, let's see, Lindsey, you've got 5 support staff. I've got an ops director. Pierre, I'm going to be honest, it sounds like you've got 2 overworked admin and marketing people for that volume, but they probably know what they're doing. So my question is to everybody, what are the things that you realized, whether it was early on or just yesterday, that these are the things that I've got to outsource so that I can focus on highest and best use of time? So what systems have you put in place to allow you to continue to kind of grow and scale your business? So Jenna, we'll start with you this time.
Sure. So when I first got into business, I was taught very early on to focus on sales. So when the team that I was on, we had a transaction coordinator, we had a marketing person, we had buyer's agent. So I was trained already to let things go, which is very hard for agents to do. I ended up becoming, solo agent. Then I took some of those responsibilities back on. But one was definitely don't touch the paperwork. That is so time consuming and does not generate business for me. That needs to go, and I never want to touch it. That's not fun for me. It's not, it doesn't, like I said, help my business grow. So that's huge. People think get a buyer's agent first. Well, no, you're going to get more business, which is great, but how are you going to manage that? So for me, it's the transaction person all the way.
Love it, and 100% fact. So quick follow-up, Jenna, do you attend any of your inspections?
I do not. Nope.
Listen to that, agents in the room too. Biggest time suck out there.
For sure. Yep.
We set an expectation with a video that backs it up that basically says, whether it's me or an agent on our team, we will not be at the inspection. If we're in the area, we tell our inspectors to ping us maybe 20 minutes before they're going to wrap up. Again, if we're in the area, to kind of get a summary.
Yeah, I let my clients know, I joke about it. I say, this is your time with your home without your pesky agent bothering you. And they, get a chuckle out of it. And, we'll follow up right after. I don't say right after. I say once we get the report, because I need time to look at it too before you just start calling and freaking out about things. So I say once we get the report, then we'll set up a time to talk. So they've also got time to cool off if things are crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So Jenna, are you've got your full-time TC. As you look forward into 2022, are there any other support admin roles that you may outsource or bring into your business this year?
I've thought about doing more some marketing stuff. I haven't figured out what that looks like because I don't need a full-time. Remember, I'm not trying to double, triple, quadruple my business. I'm trying to have a work-life balance. So how can I get the support, like to go on trips or still get those referrals and past clients without sitting at a computer all day long, or, you know, whatever that looks like. So I haven't figured out how much I want to grow yet, or if I just want to hold steady.
Okay, got it. So maybe like a part-time marketing contract to do database marketing or something?
For sure, yep.
Got it. Okay. So Lindsey, really, I'm hoping you can do a deep dive on this, because you've got, you know, a support team of 5. You went from 42 million to 90 million. You're gunning for 180 this year. So obviously systems are absolutely running your business. I'm going to guess you don't have your agents going to inspections either, but what are, you know, probably 2 or 3 systems or processes that you've put in that have helped you kind of turn that lever and, you know, 2x your business?
Yeah, I'm just going to be really simple here. We've gotten our agents just really crystal clear on what their day looks like. So I think agents are always looking for this big, giant, shiny answer. But if you look at an agent's calendar, the calendar is not clear. I think their day, we always say either you run the day or the day runs you. So just making sure that you have a calendar set up that's showing you what you're doing on a daily basis. And obviously we have lives, we have families, we have kids, things change. So being flexible with that, but just being really clear. Like the night before, I look at my calendar and I'm saying, okay, this is what I have to do. I have a 9, I have a 10, I have a 10:30. And especially when you're a new agent and your calendar is not so complicated, just blocking out those times during your day to prospect, to make the calls, to touch base with past clients, touch base with future clients, and just be really clear with your time, because that's ultimately what's going to grow your business and drive your business. Calendar. I can't believe how many of my agents come in, experienced agents too, that don't have an integration of even like a Gmail calendar. So they're just, oh, everything's in my head. It's like, no, well, you'll never scale with everything being in your head. So get a calendar set up. I have a perfect day. It's a template I give to all of our new agents. Happy to share it. And then, you know, we love CRM, like CRM integrity, making sure the agents are in the CRM. It will make your life so much easier. Obviously, everybody in here has access to KV Core. Put all your clients in a CRM and follow up and follow through, follow back that way with the CRM. Yeah, and then obviously also too, right? Once you can afford it, getting somebody to help you with paperwork, transactional stuff, getting that paperwork off your plate. The sooner you can get the transactional part of it off your plate, the sooner you can focus on income producing activities. So yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. I think not everybody is in that position, but try and get there, and that's how your business will start to grow.
Yeah, I think it's great advice across everybody in the room right now. Got solo agents that probably use the same advice that we're giving the agents on our team, which is you control the day or the day controls you, you know, and having to be able to block out, like I mentioned earlier, that Monday at 1, like certain things have to be sacred. Agents, it's so easy to fall into field doctoring and, you know, diving into your transactions that feels productive. It feels busy. However, it doesn't move the needle. You know, we're in the business of attracting new clients. That's how we grow. So, you know, certainly outsourcing that. So, Rahul, you're kind of the closest thing to a one-man shop here, it looks like. You know, so I guess tell us how you're leveraging the virtual that's doing your SkySlope and some of your transactional, and if you have any plans to hire additional support staff going forward.
Yes, absolutely. I do plan to get a transaction coordinator this year. That's been on my plate for a very long time. The VAs I've tried, virtual assistant, I am not too comfortable with them for using them on the longer run. I do use them when I'm completely booked and have no time to finish off my work. But I would prefer a transaction coordinator any day. And I'm working on that as well. But yeah, as a solo agent, it's a lot on the plate. But I'm trying to get into podcasts this year, and this is a big thing which is going on in my mind. I want to launch a podcast, but I need a lot of support going forward with that. So my focus for this year is to get some more support staff in my system.
So these would be, are you thinking full-time folks or kind of a blend of VAs and independent contractors, or would you have somebody that, is kind of accountable on a daily basis to you? What do you think that looks like?
I was looking for more multitasker that I can hire full-time, which can do a bit of transaction coordination, a bit of editing on the videos, which is not very highly skilled at the moment. So something of that sort.
Gotcha. Okay. And if you need guests for your podcast, Rahul, you got some rock stars in the room right now. So,
yeah, absolutely. I will reach out to them once it's up and running.
Go. Right on. Okay. So, Pierre, let's kind of talk about your support staff, the admin, the marketing, kind of how you mentioned earlier, browbeating agents, accountability kind of didn't work. It repelled some folks, which it tends to. So how do you kind of monitor productivity, and what are your support staff doing to help kind of lever your time?
So when you say they're overworked, I don't honestly think that they're overworked. Because we have
that's me from the outside looking in.
I know.
Wildly inefficient is my problem.
I know. You know what? This is the funny thing is that, because ever since we changed, we had our own brokerage. So ever since we closed our brokerage and we started using all the EXP resources, we didn't have to worry about doing all the back end stuff anymore. So we could now focus on doing money making activities, right? So I actually just hired 2 other people 6 months ago. So up until 6 months ago, we only had 1 admin person and 1 marketing person who was just doing all of our branding and everything else. Now, what we decided to do was move him over into, because he's very good at doing videos and things like that. So his role now is looking strictly after shooting videos with the agents, creating content, things like that. And then we have another marketing person who's phenomenal at, doing, the rest of the stuff. And then brochures and, announcements and all the things that the agents need. And then as far as the admin goes, we have 1 person that uploads transactions, works the front desk. And then I have my office manager who kind of overlooks everything, but she has now also switched her role a little bit and is helping with onboarding to make sure that our agents are onboarded properly. And we have a follow-up system set up for them as well. But if you want to go back to when, about my 3rd or 4th year in the business, we were starting to do a lot of transactions on my own. And I had somebody that kept saying, you need to hire somebody. Well, I'll tell you, it doesn't matter how bad they are. Because I hired somebody that was not great, and my business doubled the next year because what I did was I handed off all the stuff I didn't like, right? Things like the paperwork, writing, offers or amendments or, notice of fulfillments and things like that. Anything that had to do with paperwork, setting up appointments, all the little things. And basically, I had somebody tell me, you got to categorize everything that you do in a day, whether it's A, B, or C, and you should only be doing the A activities and delegating the B and C activities to someone else. And those are the non-money making activities that are being done. So as we grew, we basically started, we brought on some agents and then they started looking after showings. Now what we do is we actually pay our agents to do, to sit in. We have to be at home inspections. So, we pay our agents. So the newer agents that are coming on, they're happy because, they're making money to go sit at an inspection. They're learning, and they're getting, they're feeling like they're contributing and they're doing something. And then that builds up their confidence. And the next thing you know, they're doing deals. And then eventually, all the other agents within the partnership group are using the newer agents as well to help with showings, and we pay them to do showings. So it's as easy as, we pay $75 a house for the first house, but because our area is so small, then we pay, $25 per house after that. So it works out to about $75 an hour. So they're excited, getting experience, and they're getting, they're getting a little bit of money coming in at the same time. So try to be as quick as I could on that one.
Yeah, that's an interesting model. So it sounds like these newer agents, they're not even in this transaction, but they're just sitting at the inspection to lever the time of whoever put the deal together. Is that how I'm hearing that?
Yeah, it's kind of like a mentorship program too, right? At the same time. And as they write offers and everything else, then we kind of overlook everything that they're doing and make sure that that's okay. But the fact that they're showing houses and going on inspections and doing different things, they're learning at the same time, and it seems to have worked really, really well because a lot of our newer agents are just killing it. They're doing really well.
Yeah, I think it helps the learning curve, and it also, we talked earlier about social and proof of competence, putting that on an Instagram story.
Yep.
Kind of telling the audience, your followers, hey, here's what it looks like at a home inspection. And grab the inspector and say, hey, what are some things you're seeing more commonly? Kind of figuring those things out to bigger and bigger things. So 2 minutes left, speed round. I guess, your biggest takeaway from this session. So, Rahul, let's go to you first. As you kind of learned from us on the panel, what's your biggest takeaway?
So it's a question for me?
Yeah. So from the discussion today, your kind of biggest takeaway, whether it's something, that you'll take action on right now or, kind of calendar to look back on later.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think my biggest takeaway is to get the transaction coordinator ASAP. So that's going to be on my plate for now. And I've been working on my calendar. I would say I'm kind of below average on that. But after listening to what Lindsey had to say, I think I'll definitely step up my game for the calendar.
For sure. Okay. Pierre, your biggest takeaway from the group?
Well, I mean, when you do talk about that calendar, it's so funny because, somebody said to me just the other day, they said, if you're slow today, what did you do? Look at your calendar 60 to 90 days ago, and that'll tell you why you're slow today. And it's so true because everything we do in real estate, it's not instant gratification. It's going to come, 30 to 60 to 90 days later. So I think, I think it was Lindsey that talked about the calendar. So I think that's probably the most important reminder to everybody.
All right. So Lindsey, you're really on the spot because everybody took your calendar idea. So what did you learn from the session today? Your biggest takeaway?
That I'm going to travel with Jenna.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome.
Thanks a lot, Lindsey. You
That's a great idea.
I just wrote down I need to travel more. I'm going to Rolowitz next weekend, and I'm like, I should be doing more of this. So that's a great takeaway. How about you, Jenna? Because we're like running up against it here.
Yeah, I already know this, that I need to do it, and everybody just keeps telling me video. I know I need to just pull the trigger. I just terrified, but I know it needs to happen. So.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Everybody already knows what you look like and what you sound like.
Right.
Like they do, and they still like hang out and have coffee with you. If they see you doing video, they're not going to be like, oh, God. So, but we're all guilty of that. So it looks like 12:30, so we will give up the room here. I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who attended, and especially Jenna, Lindsey, Pierre, Rahul. I learned a ton. Again, one of the reasons I absolutely love this brokerage and this model. I didn't have something like this at our old brokerage. It was and trainings once a month, not just drop in any time and learn from top producers who there's no doubt you can learn from. So again, thank you. We'll see you on the next one.
Can I ask real
Everyone
quick?
have a wildly productive weekend.
Can I ask real quick if you guys can put your Instagram or Facebook in the chat? I think I found Pierre, but I'm not quite sure if it's him. So if you guys could just do it, that'd be awesome. That way I can connect with you.
Yeah, mine just got hacked a week and a half ago, so I'm
lovely.
I'll follow you for my new one shortly.
Thank you so much. You did such a good job moderating.
Thank you. Thank everybody.
Have an amazing weekend.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Absolutely. We'll do it again soon.